Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Crystalline. I imagine it's been too long since we played this. So, shall we get started? Because I can't remember where we got, so this is going to be completely new for me. It's been a while. So, the next day, Leanna and I get up bright and early. We decide to practice sparring before the others wake up. Our swords clash with a score of heavy blows. Leanna forces me backwards with a huge grin on her face. I'm breathing hard and struggling to keep up as my brows knit. Oh, my brows. My brows knit in concentration. Leanna sweeps my blade aside and comes back around, but I swing in time to deflect it because I'm a boss now. Her face brightens and she seems pleasantly surprised.
Wow, that's great! You're getting much better.
Really? Leanna's grin turns devilish.
Hi-ya!
She lunges. I let out a sharp cry. Ah! Then, raising my sword in time, her movement quickens as she strikes harder. I struggle to keep up, but I manage to hold my own. Ultimately, Leanna's final move knocks me to the ground. I groan, look up at the sky. It's hard to breathe with the wind knocked out of me. Are our spars always going to end like this? No, hopefully not. Leanna's face appears on mine. She smiles brightly.
That was so much better.
I lost yet again, though.
This time. But you're getting stronger and stronger every time.
That cheers me up a little. Leanna extends her hand and helps me up.
Let's switch gears. You've been doing really well with sparring, so we should practice your magic training. You need to learn to refine your cast.
I know she's right, so I nod. I'm feeling more confident about it now that I know I can cast. I think back on the countless previous training sessions and the frustration that comes with it. Even though I know I still have much to learn before I reach anywhere near Leanna's level, I'm just glad to be past those early stages.
Alright, practice channeling your energy through your manipulator. And this time, keep your focus on where you want to cast.
Skirts and updrafts go perfectly together. Focus on a rock. I want to float the pango. I think of a great idea. I take a deep breath. Focus on the energy coursing through me. A cool trickle of magic surges down my arm. The pango wiggles around, trying to get back on the ground.
What are you doing?
The longer the pango stays in the air, the more concerned he becomes, and the harder he struggles. Hey, hold still.
Don't drop him!
I try to keep him steady, but the more the pango panics, the more difficult it is for me to concentrate and keep control. Sweat beads on my face. I try to keep the pango afloat. Leanna rushes closer, and I lose my concentration. The pango falls in the air and lands right in Leanna's outstretched arms. Leanna cuddles him close.
Don't worry, I've got you.
I feel bullied. Once the pango calms down, Leanna lets him go. He hops out of her arms and back to the ground. He does an experimental bounce to make sure he stays grounded, then jiggles happily. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. Leanna smiles as the pango shuffles off, then turns to me. Sorry?
Maybe we should pick something more suitable for you to practice on.
Oh, that was a fun idea. Leanna looks around and points to the large rock.
Try again on this rock.
I take a deep breath, clearing my mind, and cast again. As usual, a solid gust of wind bursts forth, and I steadily float the rock in the air. Leanna claps her hands together, a wide grin on her face.
Yes, that's it.
I know. Hey, I'm doing it. The pango glances at the floating rock curiously. In one motion, he jumps right onto the rock. The movement stalls me, and the rock jolts in it. The pango wobbles precariously, and I can feel the nerves set in again as I fight to steady the rock.
It's okay. Don't panic. Just keep your focus. Try to float them towards you.
How is this any different from me floating pango? Alright. It's just heavier now, so I have to adjust my energy output. I breathe in and out, and I refocus. The rock stops swaying.
Good. Keep going.
A strong breeze whips around the pango, keeping him in place. I close my eyes and picture him floating closer.
You got this.
I open my eyes. The rock with the pango floats closer and closer. A huge grin blooms across my face. It's working! It's working! The pango jumps from the rock onto my head. As soon as the pango touches me, I lose my concentration and drop the rock. Shame on you, pango. Leanna giggles.
Great job.
Thanks. The pango wiggles on top of my head. Thanks for being a good sport. Leanna giggles as I pat the pango. I kind of want a pango.
I think that's enough training for today. You've made great progress.
Heck yeah. Thanks. I can feel the fatigue start to set in, and I'm grateful to Leanna for ending the session.
Let's go rejoin the group.
Yeah, they should all be awake by now, I think. Leanna nods, and the three of us return to camp. As I predicted, everyone is awake and even have breakfast prepared. After we eat and clean up camp, we resume our journey. Alright, we're heading to the third place, aren't we? After a couple days of travel, we continue to journey along the path when I notice thick clouds darken the sky. It's a storm. Kara and Leanna cast worried glances above as a loud crack of thunder roils above.
This does not look promising.
It's just a rain.
We should find shelter.
Exactly.
We don't want to be caught in this storm.
Amelia cross-references where we are with Elder Isim's note.
We are still quite a ways from Ellendale.
Then we'd better stop at the next city we see.
I think I have an idea of where we are. If I recall correctly, Wolfston should only be a few hours' travel. We can stop there.
Once agreed, we pick up the pace to combat the strengthening wind whipping at us and make course for Wolfston. Eventually, we see the tall towers of Wolfston. We shuffle through the city gates, casting wide glances at the ominous sky. The turbulent clouds don't look any less threatening. People keep their heads down as they push past each other on the streets. They must be looking for shelter from the storm. I look at the surrounding buildings. Most are storefronts, which blend into each other as if trying to stay as inconspicuous as possible. As we travel deeper into town, a few opulent buildings loom in the sky. I guess that's where the better half lives. Leanna shifts uncomfortably.
Is it just me, or are people staring at us?
Looking around, I notice all the furtive glances towards us. Towards Leanna, as people give us a wide berth in passing.
No, they're staring at you.
As she is pretty. Zach's comment seems to make her even more anxious. Might be best to try keep it hidden. I step closer to her to try to block her from view. She blinks in surprise and gives me a small smile.
Thanks, but I'm not sure how much that will help.
Maybe it will discourage them from staring.
When you remember what kind of town Wolfston is, it's no surprise everyone is staring at her.
I give Kara a questioning look. And what sort of town is it?
Let's just say that what happens in Wolfston stays in Wolfston.
Ah, it's that kind of town. Leanna covers the sigil on her manipulator with one hand.
Maybe this isn't the best place for me to be advertising that I'm a part of the Mage Guild.
Zach nods.
Agreed. You're making them nervous.
The stairs remind me of when I first arrived in Meadowhill. Should we find you a change of clothes to blend in more?
That is a satisfactory suggestion, but perhaps it should be executed without the presence of Leanna. The longer she is in the streets, the more attention she draws.
Good point. Let's hurry up and find the inn. Leanna can stay there, and I'll help her find a more suitable outfit.
As the wind picks up, more people creep out of the shadowed alleyways as they seek shelter. I instinctively check my pockets. Something about this place has me on edge. Leanna is equally anxious, while Amy's expression doesn't change. She does seem more alert than usual. Only Zach and Kara seem unaffected. Ooh, drama. Before long, we reach the inn. I let out a relieved breath as the fire crackling in the hearth warms me. Kara and Zack go to secure his rooms and food, as the rest of us sit down in a secluded back corner. Although the lobby is full of people, it's more quiet than the other inns we frequented. Most patrons drink alone, and those in groups murmur softly even, trying not to draw attention to themselves. We arouse a few curious glances when we walk in, but once we shuffle out of sight, people relaxed and forgot about us. The silence grows stifling as both Leanna and Amelia wait for the rest of the group to come back. As I'm wondering if I should say something, Leanna addresses Amy.
There's something that I've been wondering since Hearthpoint, but I haven't had a chance to ask.
Amy shifts her attention to Leanna.
Your mother mentioned that it's taken you a while to get a field study approved.
Yes, that is correct. I understand that such things take time as professors want to ensure the study is a proper fit for the student, but I will admit that I am beginning to become impatient.
She sighs.
Was the process for your field study equally taxing?
Leanna shakes her head.
No, I actually got the first one I applied for.
Amy blinks, then her eyes grow wide.
You were accepted upon your first application?
Yeah.
She stares at Leanna.
Maybe the process is different for Mage Knights and Mage Casters.
Amy continues to stare. Leanna looks at me, and I shrug.
Amy?
I do not understand. I have completed all the prerequisites necessary to apply for a field study. I have even attended supplementary training to increase my potential for the selection. For all intents and purposes, I should be the most ideal candidate for the mandatory field study.
She's
Is it
anxious.
just your professor's recommendation that you need?
Correct, but I have been repeatedly told that the field study is not a good fit for me.
Leanna rests her head in her hands as she thinks.
Do you think it has something to do with your age?
Amy frowns. Oh, now she's angry.
My age should not be an eligibility factor. I have proven myself to be capable enough to study as a mage caster.
This is pretty strange. And they haven't given you a specific reason why you keep getting declined?
She shakes her head.
I am quite perplexed by the situation, especially now that I understand my difficulties are not standard.
I can feel the frustration behind her words. It sounds like the Academy has it out for her, and I think she's only just started to realize that she's being treated differently. Let's see, the bottom one is the I don't really have an answer, I don't care. The middle one is probably just pointing out something that's obvious, and the top one's probably not going to get any help, but it's also the only reasonable one to get an answer. It really shouldn't be this hard to get a program. You should have excuse me. You should have a serious discussion with your professors when you returned. Give them a chance to communicate their concerns and explain why they haven't approved you. Leanna nods.
I'm sure they have their reasons, and it would help you to know why.
Amy looks pensive as the conversation dies down. Kara and Zack soon return with bowls of food, which we quickly eat. As we push our empty bowls away, Kara drops a key into Leanna's hand.
Okay, so here's a key to our room. You can go upstairs and lay low for the rest of the night. I'll go check the shops and grab an outfit for you.
She winks.
Don't worry, it'll still be cute.
Zack silently hands me a key for our room. What about the store?
Oh, I'll be okay. Zack will come with me.
Ooh, they're going on a date. Zack crosses his
I
arms.
didn't agree to this.
She feigns hurt.
You mean to say that you would let a young woman venture outside into the storm, in the middle of the night, in a dangerous city all on her own?
Ooh, she's playing the guilt card. Zack's eyebrow twitches, but he tries to remain steadfast.
Guilt tripping me won't work.
Who knows what sort of ruffians are walking the streets as late? If they were to get the jump on me, then...
Okay, fine. I'll go with you. Jeez.
He pushes himself to his feet. Kara grins wide.
I knew you'd come around.
See, this is why she's the rogue.
I'm only doing this so you can't blame anything on me later.
She smiles and drags Zack with her as they head towards the door.
We'll be back soon.
Have a fun date. We watched them exit in silence.
Well, I'm gonna call it a night.
As will I.
It is getting pretty late. and the thought of a real bed is very tempting after having to camp out for so many nights. I think I'll turn in too. Together we head upstairs and split into our separate rooms. I relax in my bed for a while, enjoying the peacefulness of the night as I wait to fall asleep. The Pango mysteriously emerges from somewhere and hops into my bed. He bounces over and leans against me before finding a comfortable spot on my bed to sleep. I'm not sure how much time passes, but I eventually have Zach return to the room and go to bed. I fall asleep not too long after. Well, that was a bit short for an episode, so let's go for the next day, shall we? Muffled steps into the hallway pulls me awake. Blinking my eyes, I look around. The sun struggles to shine through the overcast sky, making it hard to determine just what time it is. Judging by the noise from outside, I'm guessing it's well into the late morning or early afternoon. Zach's bed is empty while the Pango snores softly by my feet. He wakes up as I carefully crawl out of bed and, after blinking bleary eyes, glares widely at me.
Hi!
Poi poi. Good morning, poi poi. Or I guess, good afternoon. Yawning widely, I push myself completely out of the bed and get ready for the day. For once, we don't have an agenda. We need to follow while in his town. I wonder what the other's up to and what this city has to offer. Ready to go downstairs? The Pango shies away and buries himself in the blankets. Wow. That's a weird reaction. You don't want to go exploring today? The Pango shakes his head. Let's check on him. I peel back the blankets till he pokes his head through. You okay?
Oi!
He grins at me and looks a little more like his cheerful self. Okay, good. I'm gonna go downstairs. You sure you don't want to come? He looks uneasy and submerges back into the blanket.
Poi.
I guess he just doesn't like it here. Leaving the Pango alone, I exit my room and head for the stairs. Before I reach them, I hear a strange noise coming from above. Is there an attic in this place? Let's investigate. I tiptoe towards where I heard the noise and find a pull-down staircase, already lowered. Ooh, spooky music. I slowly begin to climb up. As I get closer, I recognize the noise as a series of hushed boys. Really? Secret hidden boy gang? Okay. The boys cease as I poke my head up into the attic. Sitting in front of a card table is a large Pango, the pudgiest Pango I've encountered yet, wearing a three-piece suit and sporting a pencil mustache. I can't take this serious. A cigar hangs from his mouth. Two Pango thugs sit on either side of the table. They all freeze and stare at me. Too shocked to react, I stare back at them. After feels like an eternity, the pudgy Pango lowers his cigar. I better get out of here before he makes me a poif. Oh, a poif, an offer I can't refuse. Silently, I lower myself out the room and quickly head down the stairs. I think I know why my Pango didn't want to leave the room today. I think it's best to pretend that never happened. Shaking my head, I go downstairs to the lobby. Wow. The lobby is as busy as it was the night before, with the same number of people filling the tables. I spot Zach and exactly where I expect him to be, right in front of the bounty boards. Karen nurses a drink alone at one of the tables, but I don't see Leanna or Amy anywhere. Let's go see Zach. Zach's always a delight. I approach Zach at the boards. Hey. He glances at me, then nods in acknowledgement. See anything good?
Yes, actually.
I look at the boards and let out a breath of surprise. Whereas most of the boards at the inn only have a few flyers pinned at a time, this board is covered in wanted posters. Whoa, that's a lot of bounties. Zach grins.
Check out the payout on these things.
He points to a poster of a scarred man with a grizzled face and a deep frown. Underneath his mugshot lists a number with more zeros than what has ever existed in my bank account. Damn. He nods. I can't help myself as I continue to scan the boards, taking notes of the offered bounties. Zach grins as he throws my words back at me.
See anything good?
Perv. Well, to be fair, I'm actually a very terrible hunter. But I'll say all the money. I point to one of the highest offered rewards. That looks pretty tempting to me.
Yep.
All the mercenaries should just come to Woolstead and check out the bounty board here.
A lot of them do.
Really?
Why do you think this inn is so full?
Look around the inn again. That would explain why so many patrons are just drinking. People drinking alone. One such man pushes himself unsteadily to his feet and sways over the board. He leans in until his nose is nearly touching one of the posters, then nods in satisfaction. As he's about to stumble away, he pauses when he sees Zach. He stares at him for an uncomfortably long time.
Hey, don't I know you?
Zach barely bats an eye.
No.
The drunk is undeterred and comes closer. He peers at Zach again, trying to get his eyes to focus. Zach steps back as the man nears. Suddenly the man straightens up excitedly.
No way. You're the Death Slinger.
Death Slinger? As the man mentions the name, the inn falls silent. Then tendrils of whispers begin to snake around us.
You're mistaken.
Isn't that what Zach called himself at Half Point? His expression is stonier than usual, but the drunk is unfazed.
I never thought I'd see you here. But it makes sense. Everybody makes it to Woolstead sooner or later.
You have the wrong guy.
The drunk squints and shakes his
That
head.
must be you. The trench coat, scar over one eye.
The whispers increased into hurried murmurs as all eyes fall on us. The drunk thinks for a second.
But do you have purple dischargers too?
He reaches towards Zach's holstered discharges, but Zach smoothly steps away.
If I were the Death Slinger, would you really want to piss me off?
Ooh, angry Zach. His icy warning causes the inn to fall silent again. The drunk sways precariously as the muddled gears in his head turn. The understanding finally dawns.
Oh, right. I'll leave you alone. Sorry.
As the man stumbles back to his table, Zach sits down at an empty table in the corner. I follow silently, feeling the weight of everyone's gaze. When I sit down, Zach glares at the people around us, which causes them to quickly turn back to their tables and resume whatever it is they were doing. Many of them seem suddenly very interested in their drinks. Zach doesn't seem inclined to talk, but the silence is stifling. So, are you the Death Slinger? So, are you the Death Slinger? Zach just fixes me an unamused look. I guess humors were not the way to break the ice. Innkeeper walks over and places 2 drinks on the table. Zach looks at him, and he quickly speaks.
On the house, we don't want any trouble here.
He nods and takes a sip from one of the drinks.
Thanks.
A look of relief washes over the innkeeper's face as he walks away. Gradually, life returns to the inn as people lose interest in us. So, who exactly is the Death Slinger then?
He's a mercenary.
Most mercenaries don't silence an entire inn at the mention of their name.
You're right.
He takes another drink. I wait for him to continue, but he doesn't. Well, I don't think I'll be getting more of him now, since things have begun to feel more normal. I relax a bit, take a sip of my drink. We finish our drinks quietly. Although his stony frown has lessened, I think it'd be best to give him some space. I say goodbyes and leave the table. I want to go see Leanna. Leanna seemed pretty nervous last night. I wonder if she's still in her room. Making my way back upstairs. Making my way down. I knock on her door. After a moment, her voice calls out.
Who is it?
It's me.
Oh, hey.
Hey. As a sign says, I wait for her to open the door, but she doesn't. Is everything okay?
Yep. Everything's fine.
Okay. She sounds really distracted.
Sorry, I'm a little busy right now. Amy and I are kind of in the middle of something. Do you think you can come back later?
Ah, so that's where Amelia is too. Sure, sorry to disturb you. She doesn't answer. That was kind of weird. I hope she isn't annoyed with me. I better leave her alone for now and check in later if I have time. Let's go see Kara. I plop down on the table. I plop down at the table across from Kara. She raises an eyebrow as I sit. Hey, Kara.
Hey.
She looks amused as she takes a sip of her drink. You got any exciting plans today? She shrugs. Yeah, same here. Gotta be something more exciting to do. What do you think? A sly smile spreads across her face. She throws back her drink and slams the empty mug on the table. Oof.
I think I know exactly what we should do.
Ooh, I'm not sure I trust that look. What does she have planned? What do you have in mind?
We're going to go gambling.
That sounds dangerous. Why not? I feel lucky today. I've been lucky so far. I don't think that was going to run out anytime soon. I'm in. She nods approvingly.
I had a feeling you'd like my suggestion. Let's go then.
I follow Kara out of the inn. The streets are deserted as the clouds roil overhead. I glance cautiously at the sky, but Kara remains unconcerned as she surveys the shops along the streets. Finally, she stops in front of a gaudy building. Bright crystals illuminate the sign as they flash distractingly on and off. Neon sign. This place sticks out like a sore thumb. Kara grins as she pushes open the door. Oh, fancy. I follow her in and blink as my eyes adjust to the dim room. Even if I had no where we're going, I would instantly recognize this place as a casino. Half the room is lined with flashy slot machine powered by mini crystals, while the other half is filled with tables. Both players and onlookers crowd around the tables. In fact, this casino is packed with people. Clearly the storm is enough to keep those people from their games.
So, see anything you like?
She gestures at the tables. You pick. She waves among the tables, taking cursory glances at each game before deciding.
Have you played Shadow Knaves?
How do you play?
The goal is to reach a numerical value of 21 with the cards you're dealt.
Oh, it's that game.
You'll start with 2 cards, and you could choose to add cards or stand depending on what you have.
I know this game. We have a version of it back home.
Perfect! Then you'll be a pro. Ready to play?
I'm ready to win. In response, I sit down at the table, place my bet. Kara grins and does the same. Okay, let's see how lucky I am. After the remaining seats at the table are filled, the dealer begins the first round. He slides 2 cards face up. Although the numbers look the same, the suits of the cards are unfamiliar. I have what looks like a 7 of crystals and a 9 of a swirly dot. Okay. Looking around the table, my competitors have a total of 18, 13, 7, and 20. Hit me. My cards only add up to 16. No way will I win with that hand. Hit me. A 5, 21. The dealer busts and I win this round. Yes! Kara somehow is a blackjack master and pretty much kills it every round. Some of the scowls on the other patrons deepen, and I'm glad I'm not part of the game. They do not look happy at losing all that money. I browse a few of the other tables and recognize the tarot version of craps and roulettes. It's funny how we have fairly similar games, although I suppose not too unexpected. Considering we're fairly similar worlds, gambling is gambling. I return to the blackjack table just in time to see Kara abruptly stand.
Time to go.
But what about trying? Kara has a grin plastered on her face as she shakes her head.
Maybe next time, but I think we've had enough gambling for one day. It's time to cash out.
Not even one more game?
Really, it's about time we get going. Trust me.
She doesn't seem like she'll let up. I shrug and follow her. After cashing out, Kara hastens out of the casino. I jog to catch up to her. Something weird is going on. So, what was that all about? Why were you in such a hurry to leave? She smiles innocently.
It was just time for us to go.
Uh-huh. You were totally up to something shady, weren't you?
I don't know what you mean.
Sure. I bet you were counting cards. Kara blinks.
Oh, you noticed?
Wait, what?
What?
What? That's being resourceful. That's really impressive. You're using your skill set to up the odds in your favor. She seems pleased.
Thank you. I'm happy you understand.
I give credit where it's due. Besides, it's not like that giant business will miss the money anyway.
It's true. There are a few people I can think of who could put that money to better use.
You mean like orphans? Kara whips her head around and stares at me with wide eyes. More specifically, those orphans back at Stonecrest.
How'd you know about that?
I saw you there. I wanted to share my money with them too. Her expression softens.
You gave them money too.
I nod. I felt bad for them.
Yeah. They were just trying to survive in the only way they knew how. I thought if I shared my reward with them, maybe they'll find a way where they won't need to steal again.
Well, now I feel guilty only giving a portion of my reward. She laughs.
Your heart was in the right place.
So, what should we do now? A mischievous grin spreads across her face. Oh boy.
Let's go to another casino.
I laugh. This can only be trouble. I follow her to another casino where we go through the same routine. After winning winning big again, we part ways and I head back to the inn. I decide to spend the rest of my time alone. I relax at one of the tables by myself, observing the people and enjoying my free time. It's not too often that I can have some alone time, and with the storm outside, I'm entitled to feel a little lazy. The rest of the afternoon passes by uneventfully. With the dark clouds outside, it's hard to judge the time of day, but the sky seems to be darkening. I wonder if Leanna's done with whatever she was doing earlier. I hadn't seen her leave her room all day. I decide to see if she's free. Ding, ding, ding. As I approach her room, I knock on the door. Leanna! There's a pour, then a scuffling sound.
Yes?
You okay in there?
Yep. Fine.
Have you had a chance to look around yet? Maybe we can go check out the shops.
Well, it's getting kind of late, isn't it? Might be better to stay inside.
Sure. Do you want to come downstairs and we can get you something to eat? There's a big pause again.
You know, I'm not very hungry. I think I'll stay here for now. Thanks.
I narrow my eyes. Is it just me? Or is Leanna acting a little weird? Are you sure everything's okay in there? Leanna opens the door a crack and pokes her head out. Her smile is a little too bright.
Yep, just peachy. Sorry. I'm just feeling a little tired. Nothing to worry about.
She's about to close the door, but I push to keep it open as my scarf is caught in the doorway. Wait. I push on the door to yank my scarf out. The door swings wide open, revealing Leanna's new outfit. Hey, that's not too bad. She throws her arms around herself to cover. I guess it is a little revealing.
Don't look!
My jaws drop as I take in all her outfit. Well, what little there is of it. Let's see, do we be a gentleman, a perv, or play it smooth? Let's go with interesting choice, that just seems fun. That's not really our style I peg you for, but it's not bad. Leanna tries to cover as much as possible.
I didn't choose this! Kara brought this back for me.
Is that why you've been hiding in your room?
I can't go anywhere dressed like this. It's best if I just stay here until the storm is past.
It's really not that bad. Leanna just gives me a look. If you don't like it, we can go to the shops and get you something else.
Okay, let me change and then we can go.
I thought you can wear your regular armor. She
I
blinks.
can't go out dressed like this though.
Your armor will draw more attention. At least this outfit will help you blend in. She looks uncomfortable. Honestly, it isn't that bad. Besides, we don't know how long this storm is going to last. What if you have to spend days cooped up in this room? She frowns as she thinks about it, then sighs.
Suppose you're right. Alright, we can go, but let's make it quick.
Gathering her courage, Leanna leaves the room and the two of us head downstairs. Nobody pays us any extra attention as we exit the inn. I squint up at the thick clouds. There is a light rain. We better hurry if we don't want to get caught in a downpour. We make our way down the alleyway. Leanna still gets attention, although not the same as before. She seems annoyed by the sharp whistling from leering men. I wonder if I should step in.
Hey there, baby.
What did you call me?
Leanna grabs the man by the collar and slams him against a wall.
What the hell?
Go on. Call me baby again. I dare you.
Leanna's grip on the man's collar tightens as he's pinned securely against the wall. She needs to be using her wind magic to be able to keep a man twice her size immobilized with barely a struggle. She continues to watch him with challenging eyes, daring him to catcall her again. The man stays silent as he tries to break free. Leanna finally lets go and tosses him to the side. He falls to the ground with a loud thud.
That's what I thought.
The man picks himself up and scrambles away.
You crazy bitch!
Do not call her that. She is precious.
Yeah, and don't you forget it.
Okay, she's proud to be it. The crowd of shocked onlookers stare at Leanna.
What are you looking at?
They quickly look away and resume walking. Satisfied, Leanna looks at me with a smile.
Shall we continue?
Damn, lady, you're scared. Let's go. I nod. I don't want to threaten the lady. We continue down the streets and reach the shops. Even though it's well into the evening, all of the storefronts are still open. I guess this is one of those cities that never sleeps. Ooh. Leah and I enter the first clothing shop we find. She browses the rack, but her face becomes more aghast with every outfit she picks. She holds a piece of fabric so short I can't figure out if it's supposed to be a top or a skirt.
I don't think we'll find anything here. Let's go somewhere else.
I follow her out of the store into the next one. As she browses the selection, she seems even more disappointed as each outfit is skimpier than the next. After checking out a couple more shops with no luck, we enter the last shop on the street. She checks out the racks again, then tracks down the shopkeeper.
Excuse me. Do you have any armor?
Absolutely.
He rummages through the clothing before pulling out what is essentially just a metal bra and thong. This is terrible. This is a play on the female characters in RPGs. It probably has like a +3 bonus. She can't hide her horror as the shopkeeper smiles triumphantly.
Here you go.
How is that armor?
What do you mean? It's metal. That means it can protect you.
That logic.
But
It's
what
metal.
about the rest of me?
He's about to retort, but is left speechless as her words sink in.
You know, I'd never even thought about that before.
Do you have anything with a little more coverage?
The shopkeeper returns to the rack and picks out another metal bra.
How about this?
How is that better?
Whoa!
Ugh, I'm so done with this place.
Realizing that this is a fruitless search, Leanna fumes out of the shop and I follow close behind. She looks down at her outfit and sighs.
It's hard to believe, but I think Kara picked out the most modest outfit available in this place.
Looks like it.
I guess she knows me a little better than I thought.
As we pass a darkened storefront on our way back to the inn, two men melt from the shadows and approach us.
Excuse me, are those manipulators on your wrist?
Leanna and I glance at each other and then back at the men.
Why do you ask?
The second man speaks.
We have an offer which may be interesting to you.
Exactly. As magic users, power in your craft is essential. Luckily for you, we happen to know a secret technique to amplify your casting usage to your fullest potential, no matter the skill level.
What's the technique? The first man holds me card. The den at Wolf's Den is written in curly letters.
Meet us at that location tomorrow morning, and all will be revealed.
Leanna narrows her eyes.
How do we know this is legitimate?
The second man smiles.
Your skepticism is understandable, but we've gone through this exact training and can personally guarantee results.
You're mages? Where are your manipulators?
I glance at their empty wrists. Leanna breaks up a good point.
Right here.
He lifts his hand and points to the crystal inlaid ring on his finger. Her mouth drops open in surprise, but she quickly composes herself
Your manipulator is a ring?
and flashes the same mysterious grin.
Be there tomorrow morning and all will be revealed.
They hand Leanna a card too, then disappear back into the alley. She watches them retreat, a stern look on her face. You've got solicitors in this world too. Really is impossible to escape them. She barely seems to register what I'm saying. Leanna. She blinks.
Huh?
That was pretty weird, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
I begin to throw the card away when Leanna stops me.
Wait! We need that!
We do?
How else will we find them tomorrow morning?
Wait, we're gonna go meet those guys? She nods. Is that a good idea? Are you sure that's a good idea? It seems like whatever they're selling is really shady.
It definitely is. And that's why we need to go. What if their secret technique is dangerous?
That's a paladin for you, lawful good. Do you think the technique is even effective? She shrugs.
Probably not. If it were so easy to become powerful, then everyone would do it.
Oops.
Besides, there's no way those rings are actual manipulators. It's impossible to condense the amount of energy needed for casting into such a tiny crystal. Something doesn't add up.
It does seem a little too good to be true. She nods and pockets the card. The crack of thunder interrupts us. We should get back.
Yeah.
We hurry back to the inn. I spot Kara and Zach at a table and we join them. Zach smirks when he sees Leanna.
Nice outfit.
Leanna's cheeks flush.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, Kara grins widely.
Oh, don't be shy. You've got to own it.
She blushes. Leanna blushes deepens. Leanna's blush deepens actually quickly changes
We
the
were just
subject.
out and ran into some strange men promising us unimaginable power.
She pulls out that card and places it on the
They
table.
said to meet them there tomorrow.
Zach and Kara study it.
I've never seen this before.
I have. They recruited me too.
Leanna blinks.
But you aren't a mage. They were looking for magic casters. Why did they recruit you?
Zach shrugs.
Something about being a valuable asset? I wasn't really listening.
We're gonna go meet them tomorrow morning. Leanna nods.
Same here.
What? Really? Leanna looks equally surprised.
Sure,
Why? I thought you weren't listening.
I wasn't. But from what I did hear, it sounds like a scam for money. Money which should be liberated from them for the greater good.
Chaotic neutral at its finest, gentlemen and ladies. Why am I not surprised?
All right, let's meet up there tomorrow morning and go together.
Zach nods. As if on cue, Amy joins the group.
Greetings. Have we all gathered here to partake in supper?
That's a pretty good idea. I could go for some food.
I nod too. Same here. We order some food and sit down together to eat. As we eat, Amelia looks intently from Kara to Leanna. Leanna shifts uncomfortably.
Is there something wrong, Amy?
There seems to be an undeniable trend in the clothing both you and Kara are wearing. Perhaps I should be wearing something similar.
Kara becomes stern.
We need to have a talk about what is and isn't appropriate for you to wear, young lady.
The irony of that statement is not lost on me.
No, don't don't worry. You're too young for that. What you're wearing is much more appropriate.
Maybe when you're older.
Trust me, you won't find anything age-appropriate in those shops.
I believe you all are still significantly misestimating my age.
I wonder how old she is. Once the team has calmed down and talked Amy out of purchasing an outfit, we finished the rest of our meals. Leanna reminds Zach and me to meet downstairs in the morning, then we all retire to bed. After getting changed, I fall into my bed and drift to sleep. And that is where we shall leave it today. And just because this game tends to not like me, double save. So, thank you all for watching. Leave a like, give a sub, share with your friends, and tell me how much you love me in the comments. I don't know. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Mwah.